Imagine looking up at the night sky and seeing Saturn, with its stunning rings stretching out into space. It's a breathtaking sight that has captivated astronomers and stargazers for centuries. But why does Saturn have these rings, and what makes them so unique? In this video, we'll delve into the science behind these enigmatic features and explore some of the most fascinating discoveries about Saturn's rings. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the first to see our latest videos. What are Saturn's rings? Before we dive into the mystery of why Saturn has rings, let's first take a closer look at what these rings actually are. Saturn's rings are a system of ice particles and rocks that orbit around the planet. They were first discovered by Galileo Galilei in 1610, but it wasn't until the Voyager 1 spacecraft passed by in 1980 that we got a close-up look at these spectacular rings. Saturn's rings are made up of billions of particles, ranging in size from tiny grains of dust to massive boulders. These particles are thought to have originated from the icy moons of Saturn, which were shattered by collisions with comets or asteroids. The rings themselves are divided into several distinct sections. The main rings, which are the brightest and most visible from Earth, are named in alphabetical order based on when they were discovered: D, C, B, A, F, G, and E. So, now that we know what Saturn's rings are, let's dive into the mystery of why only Saturn has such massive and beautiful rings. Why only Saturn? One of the most intriguing aspects of Saturn's rings is that no other planet in our solar system has anything quite like them. While other planets do have rings, they are nowhere near as large or impressive as those of Saturn. So, what sets Saturn apart from the other planets? There are several factors that may contribute to this phenomenon. Firstly, Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, with a mass more than 95 times that of Earth. This means that it has a much stronger gravitational pull, which allows it to hold onto a much larger ring system than any other planet. Secondly, Saturn's rings are made up of primarily water ice, which reflects sunlight and makes them much more visible than the rings of other planets. In contrast, the rings of Jupiter and Uranus are made up of darker material, which makes them much harder to see. Finally, Saturn's rings are also much younger than the rings of other planets. While the rings of Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune are thought to be billions of years old, Saturn's rings are estimated to be only a few 100 million years old. So, how did Saturn's rings form in the first place? This is a question that has puzzled astronomers for centuries, and there are several theories and hypotheses that attempt to explain the origins of these spectacular rings. One theory suggests that the rings were formed by the breakup of a small moon or comet that wandered too close to Saturn. This would have created a debris field that eventually coalesced into the ring system we see today. Another theory proposes that the rings were formed by the collision of two small moons. As the moons smashed into each other, they would have created a cloud of debris that eventually settled into the ring system we see today. A more recent hypothesis suggests that the rings were formed relatively recently, as a result of the tidal disruption of a small moon by Saturn's gravity. This would have caused the moon to break apart into small particles that eventually settled into the ring system. While each of these theories has its strengths and weaknesses, it's clear that Saturn's rings are the result of a complex and dynamic process that we are still trying to understand. Despite the many mysteries surrounding Saturn's rings, astronomers have made significant progress in recent years in studying these enigmatic features. One of the most important tools in studying Saturn's rings is the Cassini spacecraft, which orbited the planet between 2004 and 2017. During its mission, Cassini took detailed images and measurements of the rings, providing scientists with a wealth of data to study. One of the key findings from the Cassini mission was the discovery of several small moons embedded within Saturn's rings. These moons, known as ring moons, are thought to have formed from the debris of larger moons that were shattered by impacts with comets or asteroids. Scientists have also used ground-based telescopes to study Saturn's rings in detail. By analyzing the light reflected by the rings, astronomers can learn about their composition and structure. In recent years, scientists have also begun to study the rings of other planets in our solar system more closely. For example, the New Horizons spacecraft, which flew past Pluto in 2015, detected a faint ring system around the dwarf planet. By comparing the ring systems of different planets, astronomers hope to gain a better understanding of how these features form and evolve over time. So, what does the future hold for Saturn's rings? While it's clear that these features will continue to evolve over time, there is still much we don't know about how they will change in the coming years and decades. One possibility is that the rings will eventually disappear entirely. Over time, small particles in the ring system will collide and stick together, forming larger and larger bodies. Eventually, these bodies may grow large enough to form moons, which will gradually clear the ring system. Alternatively, the rings may continue to evolve and change over time. As new particles are added to the ring system and old ones are ejected, the rings may change shape and composition, giving us even more insights into the formation and evolution of our solar system. In conclusion, Saturn's rings are a unique and awe-inspiring feature of our solar system. While we still don't fully understand why only Saturn has such a massive and complex ring system, scientists have made significant progress in recent years in studying these features. From the discovery of small moons embedded within the rings to the analysis of their composition and structure, we have learned a great deal about Saturn's rings in recent years. However, there is still much we don't know about these enigmatic features, and they continue to inspire awe and fascination in people around the world. Whether in science fiction movies or video games, or as a symbol of the beauty and complexity of our universe, Saturn's rings will undoubtedly continue to captivate and inspire us for generations to come. That's it, we've reached the end of the video. If you made it this far, you're one of the best people out there. Before you go, make sure to give us a like to let us know you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions that pop into your head in the middle of the night, feel free to leave them in the comments below so we can answer them for you.